Hi, it's Darnell with Way Over Recipes, and today I'm going to be cooking up some steaks, some ribeye steaks, in the Cuisinart Chef's Convection Toaster Oven, which is actually an air fryer. And I'm going to show you how to cook some steaks up real quick with it, and we're going to get started on those right now. Okay, so I got myself a couple of ribeye steaks. Each is a little over a half a pound each ribeye steak. And I've got some cooking spray and I've got some steak seasoning. I won't be using any oil because with this type of cooker, we know it doesn't hold in smoke very well, so I don't want to put any oil on it that will go above smoke point because we're going to be broiling at 500 degrees, and so it's going to get really hot in there. So I've got the grill pan the grill grate in the bake pan here, and I'm just going to spray that with a little cooking spray to try and avoid things sticking some. I'm going to open up my steak seasoning, and I've also got my iGrill 2 here to measure temperature. Got that turned on. I'm going to get a meat probe and just one of these. I'll just track the temperature of one instead of both and just go off of whatever temperature I get from one of them. And so I'm going to basically get my steaks laid out here on my grill grate, like so. And now that I've got my steaks laid out, I'm going to go ahead and get them all seasoned up. So throwing the seasoning all over them here. So just going to get it in and just kind of press it on. I am kind of, with flipping the steaks, kind of getting some of the oil from the spray on the steaks, but Lord willing, that won't be much of an issue. I'm just going to sprinkle here just to season them up good. And now that we've got things seasoned up, we've got some seasoning all over these steaks. I like to season mine up good. And nothing in this video is sponsored. I always try to make sure I mention that. I'm going to try and find a piece of meat to get a probe deep into here. I'm just going to see if I can go up through the fat and meat here, even though fat usually registers a higher temperature than meat. So I'm going through this meat here. This meat, these cuts are kind of thin, but I think the meat probe will still be okay as long as I am able to get it in just right into the meat. So just trying to be careful and make sure that I center my probe well into my meat and it's not too exposed is what I'm trying to avoid. I'm trying to get it just centered in good. So, okay. I think we've got it in pretty decent now. So going to take this, slide it right on in. Got the rack on rack number 3, that's the third rack up from the bottom. I'm going to close things up. Like so. Things are nice and tight like that. And so now I'm going to get this, in better view. You can see it's showing the steak temperature is pretty cool. I'm going to, and I know, you can leave your steaks out longer if you want to let them get to a higher temp before you start cooking them and all. I know all about that, but this is how I'm doing mine, but you be sure to do yours the way you like. I'm going to turn the cooker to broil. Now that I've got it to broil is set at 500 degrees. The cooking time, I'm not certain, but I'm just going to put 20 minutes on it. It may need less, but I'm going to hit the speed convection button. Speed convection is going to give us the hottest heat of all. Things are going to get super hot in there. Probably going to go way over 500 degrees even. But I'm going to go ahead now at this point and hit start. So we're going to let that cook for a while, let the temperature continue to rise, and see how things go with this cook. I'll bring you back in a bit. Alright, 8 minutes have passed. The meat temperature's up to 125 after 8 minutes. That's with no preheat. And we see how our steaks look. I'm just going to flip them over. And our meat probe was kind of exposed. We can see, unfortunately, it's kind of exposed because the meat's kind of thin. But I'll do some testing with my Thermopin later. But basically, we'll just let this continue. I'll bring you back in a moment. Alright, 10 minutes have passed. You see the meat temperature is reading like 168 or so, but we know that meat probe was exposed, so it might be reading a little high. But I'm just going to open up here and have another look. And this is how our steaks look. I think they're still needing some more cooking. I'm not going to rely on that meat probe. I'm just going to let them go until like 15 minutes total has passed on the cook time. And we'll just measure with the thermopin at that time. I don't mind a well done steak personally, but we'll let those keep on going because I'm still seeing like way too much red on the outside of that meat. I don't think it's been really well cooked all through and through yet. But we'll let this just keep on going and I'll bring you on back. Alright, I've let these go for 14 minutes instead of 15 minutes, but I think that things are probably done by now. I know we're reading 178 on the meat probe, but that meat probe, as you can see, was exposed a little too much. When I get in there, I'm just reading 140s in the meat. So, now that one's done. This one's in the 160. This one here, you know, that's a medium rare. I know some of you like your steaks on the rare side. I like mine closer to medium well or well. So, I'm keeping that one in there for a moment. Gonna give it a couple more minutes to roll. I'll bring you back in a moment. Alright, so that one's been in there 16 minutes now. I'm going to just check its temp real quick and see if it's closer to where I like mine. It's reading like 140. Wow, it's like, well, it's in the 150s. That's good enough for me. It's in the mid 150s, so we're at the medium well range. So I'm going to stop there with that one. So this one took about 14 minutes. The other one took 16 minutes. And that was no preheating at all. So getting that on off of there. I'm going to hit the stop button, stop the cooker. And so let's go ahead and do a cut. I'm going to cut this one here and just look inside of it. I know we could let this meat rest to reabsorb its juices some, but I want to check it now before any carryover heat might change conditions. I want to just see how things look. And we see that things are nice medium well in there. We see a nice line of pink. So that turned out pretty nicely. Let's go ahead and cut off a piece here for taste testing. I'm just going to cut down here and cut a piece for the taste test. And so you can see the meat turned out pretty good. Let me give you a closer look. Cutting board there. It turned out pretty nice and pretty quick. So let's do a taste test. Alright, so let's taste this steak here. Here we go. Nice juicy ribeye steak in just, you know, between about 15 minutes, roughly about 15 minutes. You've got medium well done ribeye steak. If you like yours rare, you can go a little less time. If you like it a little more on the well done side, you can go a little more. You know, it's all good, it's your steak, so you do it your way. And so you'll be able to find this recipe and others on my blog at superwaveovenrecipes.com, but check the video description. You'll be able to find information there. Also, other ways you can help this channel. You can get, like on the shop area of my YouTube channel, you can get things like this nice shirt and such to help this channel. Also, if you did like this video, you can also give it a thumbs up. You can also find me on Twitter and Instagram at WaveOvenRecipes. If you want to come directly to this YouTube channel, just go to WaveOvenRecipes.com and also leave your comments. Hit that subscribe button, hit the notification button, and good eating.